Tonight, we begin an exclusive four-part series here on 69 News, investigating a coal fire in Schuylkill County.
The underground mine fire in Centralia has been talked about for decades and made national news. Virtually everyone in the borough in central Pennsylvania had to be relocated. But tonight's story is about something different.
There's another fire that has people wondering whether Centralia is spreading underground toward their homes and businesses. 69 News reporter Rob Manch is here in the studio with part one of his series. Rob?
Yeah, that's right, guys. So it all started when a former photographer here at 69 News, Kaylee Lindenmuth, filed a right-to-know request with the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection about that reported mine fire 3 miles to the east of Centralia. So we got back a report confirming its existence, and then we decided to hike out there and see it for ourselves. And what we found was concerning to us, but I also learned it's concerning to people in the nearby borough of Shenandoah.
Centralia was more of a small crossroads town.
We begin at the site of the coal region's most famous mine fire, the borough of Centralia. Once home to more than 1,000 people, now has fewer than 10 houses, thanks to the coal region's most famous mine fire burning underground since 1962.
Today it is an odd ghost town.
Andy Ulickney, the Historical Society director in neighboring Shenandoah, remembers when it happened.
When they started weighing the cost versus the notion of let's just move everybody out, and they paid them, there were royalties, and this, they went with that direction. Just let it burn.
Today, there's no more visible smoke coming out of the ground in Centralia proper. But just to the east, we saw our first evidence that the fire is still very much active. This smoke is off of Big Mine Run Road, which is just outside Centralia in Columbia County. This location is the furthest point that investigators originally thought the mine fire had reached. But that was until 2004 when a mining company reported another mine fire several miles east of here. We obtained that report through a public records request. It identifies a different fire 3 miles to the east, just north of a town called Girardville, first discovered in 2004 by a mining company called Blashock Coal. At that time, investigators said, quote, the possibility the underground mine fire and the Centralia mine fire were related in some way was discussed. Additional field work and map analysis is necessary to make an accurate determination. Later in the report, it says, quote, Blashock plans to go ahead and remine the area and extinguish the underground mine fire. Therefore, we recommend no further action. It was time to see for ourselves if the fire had been dealt with. The hike into abandoned mine land wasn't easy, a terrain filled with swampy water, overgrown plants, and loose rocks. But after about a mile, we saw from a distance what we were looking for. Smoke rising straight out of the ground, covering an entire hillside and continuing onto the back of the hill as well. The area was surrounded by dead vegetation. The fire had not been extinguished.
Huh.
Wow.
Wow. So any comment at all from the Blashock Coal people?
Yeah, that's right, Wendy. I did reach out to the company, but like I said in my story, I didn't get a response from Blashock Coal. But it's not really critical that I did, because even though Blashock reportedly discovered the fire, the DEP never gave them approval to dig it up. So at this point, the DEP tells us it has no idea how that second fire started. But right now, it's much more active in terms of smoke coming out of the ground, as you can see there, than Centralia is to this day. Now, in the next 3 parts of this series, I get answers from the DEP to learn what they actually do know about the Girardville fire, and I talk with people living in the closest neighborhood to it. Then I break down what solutions there are if the DEP ever wanted to do something about this thing.
So a lot of people have heard about the Centralia fire, of course, but may not remember how it started. How did it get going?
Yeah, right. We need to do a little background for anybody who's not familiar with Centralia. So according to the DEP's website, the Centralia mine fire actually began all the way back in 1962. So the agency says it began when the town filled an abandoned strip mining pit with residential trash, and then they intentionally lit that trash on fire. So the website says because there was not a non-combustible barrier in place, that fire spread from the trash to the exposed Buck Mountain coal seam in the pit, and it's been burning underground ever since. Now, if you do want to learn more about Centralia, we're going to provide a link to a story on our website that 69 News did all the way back in 2009, interviewing people who live there. Kind of cool, guys. We've been on this for quite a while.
Yeah.